Whoa, check it out. We've got the Noivern Pokemon card set. I'm happy to get one. This is another dragon type Pokemon, which its ability has got like these huge ears, or kind of like speakerish kind of ears, and it does some massive damage. This is a pretty cool deck. Like the other deck, Rayquaza, this is sort of like the antithesis, or I guess like the competitor deck to the Rayquaza deck. Bring on the boom, it says, with Noivern V. And so basically this deck here allows you to kind of mimic, really copy your opponents and try to deliver the best crushing blows with the star Pokemon's Synchro Loud attack. You can also use this deck to draw extra cards with Golbat and Crobat, and then channel the power of Lugia. And then you've also got the Noivern V Pokemon card. So these are the cards that you get in this set, the Noivern V card. Then you get Lugia, which is a pretty cool rare Pokemon, Xatu, Netu. These are Psychic type Pokemon. You've got Crobat and Golbat, Zubat. You've got Alakremi, Milcery, Calpicat, Dan. We've got a bunch of energy cards that we will go through. And then, of course, Darkness Energy and Psychic Energy. So this is a Dark and Psychic type Pokemon deck, as in contrast with the Rayquaza, which is more of a Lightning and Fire type Pokemon deck. So without further ado, let's open this up. So we've got Noivern here. And Noivern came in Gen 6, the Gen 6 Pokemon. It is from Pokemon X and Y. That was where it was introduced. And I think it was also in Ruby and Sapphire. So pretty strong dragon type Pokemon here. Let's go ahead and check out the box now. So just opening up here. Got the usual stuff. And let's take a look at Noivern. Alright. Noivern. It's got Boom Burst and Synchro Loud, and these are the signature moves from the deck. This is what the advertisement kind of tells you. Boom Burst, let's see here. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weaknesses and resistance for benched Pokemon. So if they're weak to Psychic, you can't, double damage or anything like that. It only does 20 damage, but it's pretty cool. It's a useful attack. Synchro Loud, this is the flagship part of the card. This is the card's greatest strength. It says if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponents, then this attack does 120 more damage. Wow, so 60 plus 120 for a total of 180 damage. So a very strong Pokemon. Now you might be thinking, well, how do I get the same number of cards as my opponent? Well, there's a trainer card in here that allows you to do that. So this deck was built very well to help you really use the Noivern. And it's got 200 HP, so this is a pretty strong Pokemon to have in your deck. All right, so let's go through the box as well. You get your online card. You get instructions on conditions like poison and burn. So if your Pokemon is poisoned, then, each time you play it, you may have to flip a coin and add a damage counter. Burn, same thing. You have to add you have to flip a coin, and before you can attack, maybe take damage, or maybe you can heal the Pokemon. There are other conditions too, like confused and asleep. We can go through in a separate video. It also comes with a little handy card on the back that allows you to kind of see what exactly you can do in your turn. These are like the basic instructions for each turn. So I like having like this handy card besides me when I'm like actually trying to play the game, so I remember what I can do. We've got some damage counters here. Then we've got, I think this is just kind of like an overview of the two cards. So Rayquaza is kind of like the opposing deck to this deck. And then we've got the Noivern battle deck, and this kind of goes over some of those techniques you can use, especially about the card itself, Noivern, and then what sort of synchro cards or trainer cards you can use to help yourself get more energy and move more cards quickly through your set. So this is a well thought out deck. And I think, like if you're buying these, Pokemon trading card games, these are like the best ones to kind of, buy because they kind of teach you the game fast, and they also teach you a little bit about strategy so you can learn how to play this game in a fun, effective way. So this is a Psychic and Dark type deck, and I believe that, yeah, it's a Psychic and Dark type deck. I believe like most of the cards are already, pre-assembled in here. So let's go over through them. So there's that darkness energy that we were talking about. And there's the psychic energy. Then we've got the Sonia card. We've got a Great Ball card. This is helpful for, looking through your deck for finding the kind of cards you might want. A Pokemon in general, if you want a Pokemon. You've got Milcery, and then it's a pretty good healing Pokemon. You've got Natu. Natu is basically a card that allows you to draw another card, which is kind of cool. You've got Zubat, and this will switch a Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, so you can hide your Noivern if it's getting, damaged pretty quickly. Also has Speed Dive, which is pretty cool. You've got Gordy, and this will allow you to look through your energy cards in your deck and find and put them into your hands. So this is a nice one. Reveal any number of energy cards you find there and put them into your hand. So this is another one good for grabbing some energy. Then we've got Hop, allows you to draw 3 cards. Now Hop is a supporter card, so you can only use him one time. And I think that's the same thing with Gordy. Once per, I believe, your turn. Could be wrong here. I'll check that later. And then Psychic Energy. Then you've got Alcremery, which evolves from Milcery, which we just saw. And I might be saying it wrong here. It might be Milcery. Allows you to decorate, attach any number of basic energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. And then it's got a Draining Kiss, which heals 30 damage from this Pokemon. So if it gets hurt, you can kind of bring it back to life and improve its HP. We've got Copycat, which allows you to shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a card for each card in your opponent's hand. So this is kind of like another supporter card, and this basically allows you to have the same number of cards as your opponent, which will make you allowed to use this Noivern and to do the Synchro Loud attack, which is kind of nice. So that's cool. This is a good card to have in your deck. Zatu, place energy warp. This move an energy from one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to their active Pokemon, which is nice. Actually, this might cause some confusion to some people. Why would you want to add more energy to your active Pokemon for your opponent? But this is like a strategy to basically kind of prevent your opponent from using more energy or adding more energy to their bench Pokemon and kind of using all their energy up at the beginning. So think wisely when you use that. Psychic, this attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your active Pokemon. So it's a pretty strong attack. You can kind of combine these. Then we've got Golbat, and Golbat has an ability called Discreet Draw. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. It's kind of a nice little handy card to have this Pokemon. Allows you to just kind of keep drawing and getting more cards. Also has the Air Slash. But you can tell that this Pokemon was meant for more of its ability to help you kind of like search your deck fast and get stuff as you need. You've got Potion, you got Psychic Energy, Hop, Darkness Energy. Lugia is also a pretty well-known Pokemon. This is a nice, strong Pokemon. It has Gust and Energy Loop. Put energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand, and basically this will allow you to kind of reuse some energy, so you can keep using this energy loop. So this is actually a pretty strong Pokemon with 120 damage. It's kind of a nice Pokemon to have. Got Great Ball, allows you to search this top 7 cards of your deck and reveal a Pokemon again, as we've discussed, which you can add to your hand. Evolution allows you to evolve a Pokemon pretty quickly. We've got a Crobat, which is the evolved form of Golbat. And this has a Drastic Draw, which is another ability here. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve your Pokemon during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. Nice. 3 cards, so pretty strong attack. And it has wing attack, which is 100 damage, and it's not that expensive to use, 2 energies, so pretty good card. Escape rope allows you to kind of change your Pokemon mid-battle, so if your active Pokemon is getting hurt, you can kind of switch that with a bench Pokemon. Darkness energy search, this is a good one. If you are low on energy, you can search for energy in your deck and then add it to your hand. Great Ball, Zubat, this one again I think we kind of discussed, but it allows you to kind of switch your Pokemon quickly, which is nice if your Pokemon is getting hurt. Copycat, you need it for the Noivern. Natu, Milcery, Psychic Energy, Hop, Potion, Alcremie, again the evolved version of Milcery. And again, this one is again just for healing, so it's a good healing Pokemon. And it allows you to kind of pull energy from your hand into any other Pokemon any way you like, so it's kind of nice. Dan, draw 2 cards. Your opponent and you play rock, paper, scissors until somebody wins. If you win, you get more cards. Evolution Incense, Darkness is a 2, Copycat. So a lot of cards that are basically the same. But this allows you to kind of be more consistent about how you're playing with this game, which is kind of nice. That's what I like about these decks. You get a lot of consistency across the deck, and it's really easy to just kind of like quickly go through, use pretty strong Pokemon. If you're losing, you gather more energy and keep adding so that you can keep using these heavy hitting attacks. So I think that's a pretty strong deck in itself. And if you're playing against somebody who might be kind of weak to the psychic type, this is a really cool deck to have in any case. So I think we're kind of done with looking at everything. Again, like I said, this deck is more about like sort of energy and psychic powers, and using a lot of the similar techniques, similar Pokemon, but it's again very consistent. And so all in all, this is meant to help you and the Noivern card that you have really win the battle, because that's what it's about, like being able to make those strong attacks and then just really, pull all the punches and do it fast. So I like this deck. It's a good deck. Here's the coin for this deck, which you flip. It's got a nice little picture of Noivern, and then of course the Pokemon ball on the back. Finally, with the deck, you get a little bit of instructions, and we'll go over those in another video of how to play. And then you get like this nice little mat here, which basically also kind of has the place markers for where you put the prize cards, the bench, the active Pokemon, and the discard pile in your deck. Nice little picture of Noivern, and then on the back you've got like this nice picture of Rayquaza and Noivern sort of fighting each other. So these are the 2 types of decks. So if you're going to play with friends, you should probably get the Rayquaza and the Noivern set, and then you can have a good match. Alright, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, Noivern says leave a thumbs up and subscribe, as well as leave any comments if you had any questions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.